welcome to our first episode of Health on the Beat S.O.S. series. Before we start, let me introduce myself. I'm Jennifer and I'm your host for today. 你看一下时间过得这么的快，又到了10月份了。How time flies! Here comes October 2021. Coincidentally, October is also World Mental Health Month. Therefore, we think it is a really good chance for everyone to open up and to talk about mental wellness in general and how can we look after it. This evening, we are very, very honored to have two guest speakers with us to talk particularly on mental wellness. 今天呢，我们就邀请了2位嘉宾来和我们一起深入探讨的关于情绪的管理。So yeah, if you have any questions or you want to say hi to 3 of us, please feel free to drop your comments down below. Okay, without further delay, let me introduce Bear, our country head of Vita Life Sciences in Malaysia and Singapore, and she is a master graduate of business IT with successful experience in health supplement industry. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome Bear.
Thank you, Jennifer. Hello, 大家好. I'm Bear. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning in today. So I have been in health supplement industry for more than 13 years. Healthcare is always my passion because I grew up in a pharmacist family. My grandpa and my dad were running a pharmacist business when I was a kid, and I was taught about health and wellness since I was a kid. When the pandemic started in 2020, the public began to realize that nutrition is something essential that everyone needs to stay healthy and protected, especially vitamin C, vitamin D. I think all of us know.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm glad that I'm in this industry that I contribute more. I can contribute more to the society.
Yes. So yeah, and our next guest speaker, Nick Ong. And Nick is a certified clinical hypnotherapist. Hello, Nick.
Hi, Nick.
Hi.
Hello, hi everyone. Hi.
So
大家好 my name is Nick. 我的名字是 Nick， 是一个临床催眠治疗师。I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist. Now I basically help my clients to address psychological, mental issues, particularly in the emotion management as well as stress management. So it's good, and I'm very happy to appear on this program tonight. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we are happy to have you with us today also. All right, today's topic is SOS. I believe some of our friends here, you do know about you or you hear of SOS, especially in movies. SOS, especially in movies, right? So for example, someone is trapped in an isolated island and then they will write a big SOS.
Yeah, or 911.
Or 911, also another way of saying, please help me now.
Right.
So, Beth, first question for you. Can you please brief us on SOS and what does it stand for in this series?
Okay, so what does that mean about SOS in our series? Okay, to us, it means strength over stress.
Strength over
Okay,
stress.
strength over stress. If you are struggling emotionally, remember to always talk it out and look for help. Before I go into details, I believe Befrienders is no longer something new to everyone, right?
Yes.
I'm sure you guys hear about it before. Okay, it's a platform where public can call for emotional support. Our government has been doing a lot more public awareness, especially since the outbreak of pandemic. 就是我们时常都说的来跟我讲啊，跟我谈啊，跟我分享啊，那一些之类的。So mental health is just as important as physical health. So a healthy person is measured based on complete wellness in terms of physical, mental, and social well-being. 也就是我们时常说的身体健康，心情愉快，还有的就是轻松的社交活动
也就是
跟朋友聊聊啊，谈谈啊。
对，因为很多人都觉得这健康只是身体的健康，其实不尽然，因为呢，身心灵健康才是最重要的，对不对？
They are all interrelated. So healthcare is one of the most fast-changing industry. Our health needs to change over time as well. So it is important for us to keep up with the needs and also new trends. It is part of VitaHealth's commitment to drive innovation in terms of product formulation that fit into modern lifestyle and different aspects of health. 也就是说 我们的产品也必须跟得上时代和生活的变化。
是。
For example, during my parents' era, we hear a lot about fish oil, EPO, calcium, correct? And
Yes.
However, now you do hear about eye care. Okay, so because it has been become an essential in today's world,
yes,
because you can't live without gadgets. I can't live without
I
my
can
phone.
also.
I probably can't live without my iPad as well. So we have too much of exposure towards blue light, and now the next big thing will be mental wellness. Okay, I'm sure all of us do encounter some experiences with friends or family that having emotional disturbance. 我们也听到很多人自杀、忧郁症啊这些的。Where even in our healthcare system, government is spending a significant number of investment under mental wellness. All right. So not just that. Today, because tomorrow we will have our Malaysia budget 2022 already. I even hear from the news saying that our government recognize the need to address that ongoing mental health impact in our life. So, which means the investment on mental health will even increase. Okay, it has become one of the focus.
A very big focus already.
Exactly.
Right?
That's why today I'm really excited that finally I have a chance.
I can feel your excitement
to share and spread awareness about mental health, which is the biggest passion since many, many years ago. So we should be aware and accept that everyone's life is not 100% perfect and smooth sailing. So there's a lot of up and down. Sometimes it's okay not to be okay. So 人生总会有高低起伏，不会永远都是一帆风顺的。
真的。
So focus on things that you are grateful for and try not to overthink your problems. Think positive that you will be happier. So because mental health matters.
Exactly. And I love what you mentioned just now, Beth. It is okay not to be okay.
Correct.
Just remember to SOS, seek for help when we are not okay. So, Beth, another question for you. Can you share with us your thoughts on the emerging mental health issues in our society right now? Especially you see during pandemic and during lockdown. So what is your thought about this?
Actually, COVID-19 has affected our mental health in many ways.
Yes.
Now that the country has set to move on from pandemic to endemic, but we still see many people are still not prepared or fear to get back to normal life. So with the prolonged stay-at-home periods, many people are experiencing FOGO.
FOGO?
Yep. FOGO.
FOGO.
That's a go. So which means fear of going out.
Fear of going out.
Just like my mom. She's watching in Facebook
Hello,
now.
Auntie.
She's still so stressed of going out from home. So there is also another social fear called FONO, where fear of normal. People are so used to working from home and they are now afraid of going back to office. And another typical example, parents are even worried to send their kids to school. But life goes on in a way. We should accept it before we talk about FONO. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So just now, Bear 有提到了 two new words, FOGO, fear of going out， 就是还是很担心的要出门，就像Bear 妈妈是不是？然后还有就是 FONO, fear of normal， 就是很担心再回到一个正常的生活。And yes, Bear, I can't deny that. I can't really deny that we are all under a lot of stress. Even I myself, which may affect our mental health, right?
Yeah, it is normal. After 2 years, we do get paranoid.
Yeah.
So you are right. Especially for those who are infected by COVID-19, they are battling from the post-effect of COVID.
Okay,
like
also called long COVID.
Correct. The post-effect, like fatigue, brain fog, short of breath, and sleeping difficulty. So, physical illness and anxiety always go hand in hand.
Yes.
So when you are in pain, you feel worried, and it will add more on stress, and then which can affect your mental wellness, or vice versa. 就打比方说，在我们情绪不好的时候，最简单的，我们就会感觉说胃痛啊，吃不消啊，
真的，
对吧？
真的。
又或者在我们身体感觉不舒服的时候，我们就会感到很忧虑，就比较暴躁的。这就是我们时常忽略掉关于情绪和健康对彼此的关联和影响，他们是 息息
息息
相关
相关的，
对
对，所以就是压力大的时候，刚才有提到我压力大，什么
什么痛
痛都来，
嗯
是不是？
嗯
就好像胃痛，我不止胃痛，我还有头痛啦，全身酸痛，就是全身酸痛。所以刚才贝有提到，我觉得非常的那个信息非常的强，就是情绪和健康的绝对是息息相关的。
对，even for a healthy person,
嗯
a lot of us worry about our family and friends
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the impact of COVID-19 on economy.
嗯
We do hear a lot of people are talking about either going out and risk for a living or sitting at home and worry about a living.
Yeah.
So somehow it drives us into a dilemma whether we have to strike a balance between our private priorities in life.
是
So 一个很简单的课题，关于开放还是不开放，
是
在网上你会看到很多人都在争论，
是
开放吗？不开放吗？坐在家吗？还是
要
生意
出去吗
生活 life goes on，
真
所以
的，
那也已经可以带给政府啊、生意人、上班族，还有包括了学生，带来了很多的困扰。2年学生都在家上课，这样是健康的吗？这些都是我们大家都会经历，还有去感觉得到，哎，到底这样是好不好？压力吗？还是精神还好吗？
感觉不是很好。
对的，
是，就真的哎，就是对于很多的问题选择，尤其是在在这个疫情当中，尤其是在要不要打疫苗这个课题呢，都在想说，因为很多人都非常非常的纠结，也因此呢，就造成了很多的无形的压力。So Nick, I would like to hear from you. Can you share your thoughts on this, Nick?
Yeah, I agree with what Bear just shared. Now the thing with in Malaysia and in our eastern countries, right? Unfortunately, the awareness of mental health is still at quite a low level, right? Now in my clinical practice, I usually see that some clients are quite concerned when they're thinking of seeking help. Right, some of them are quite concerned about how people will perceive them if people learn about they seeking help in terms of mental health, and they might worry that people will look at them in a strange way, right? And this is especially worried that they might be labeled as mental unstable or mentally sick.
Correct.
So this is the thing, and this is also the reason why most people are suffering from mental health issues in silence at the moment in our country.
I agree.
Many people they
I
don't
agree
reach
that-
out. Yeah.
Sorry. I agree that especially Asians are still quite conservative about mental wellness.
Yeah.
And this is one of our objectives today to break the taboo. 我们想跟大家分享的关于心理素质 the quality of mental wellness，并不代表你心理上有问题。Every one of us need to communicate and share with people that we trust on our problems or what's bothering us. So it means it doesn't mean that we are loser or like what people say, 一笑了，一不好死了. So it is not that. So that is,
是
yeah,
真的
exactly. It's just a sharing of what you are facing, what are the challenges, and what are the way to face our life positively. That is why we have a professional like Nick with us today to share his perspective of this issue. So Nick, please share more about mental health with us.
Yeah, sure. So now, when we talk about mental health basically refers to the mental state of a person. Now, this mental state of that person might influences their attitudes, their behavior, their emotions, even their decision that they make, and as well as in the end, it might also affect their physical health. Now, the thing is, most people are not aware that the mind and the body influence one another. Right now, very often the psychological conditions can actually lead to physical illnesses. Now, one good example would be chronic excessive stress. Right now, chronic excessive stress is one good example of psychological conditions that is the reason and cause for causing physical conditions such as hypertension. When we talk about hypertension, is high blood pressure. Okay, digestive system disorder like having gastric or having indigestions or even weak immune system. Now we all understand that right now during pandemic, right, our immune system is the most important defense for us to fight over the virus. right? A lot of people, when they are infected with COVID-19, it is their immune system that helps them to overcome the virus and recover from it. So imagine if, chronic excessive stress is causing you to have, impaired or suppressed immune system. That is very bad for all of us during this time, right? During this pandemic. Now, another thing to share with all the audiences is that, in fact, in the more developed countries in the West, for example, in the US or in the UK, now the awareness of mental health is much, much higher. And people are more willing to seek help in those part of the world. Now, on top of that, right, there are also more mental health services option, and they are more readily and more common available for the general public. And now, when we talk about mental health management, very often medications and therapies actually go hand in hand. Now, to better assist the patients or the clients in facing the mental health issues. Now, I would say that medication is crucial. It's very important to control acute conditions that might pose danger to the patients. From like certain condition might cause them to hurt themselves and so on and so forth. While therapies work on the root cause that triggers the condition in the first place. So to me,
Yes.
medications and therapies, they work hand in hand and complement each other. Now, this is also the reason why comprehensive mental health services is so important to a person.
Yes, thank you, Ben and Nick, for the explanation on what mental health is. And I would like to remind our audience here, our friends here, if you have any questions, please don't feel shy, okay? If you have any questions, please type. Share with us at the comment section, and we will try our best to answer your questions, all right? So next, let's talk about signs and symptoms. Okay, so before the start of the show, we have shared a video regarding some of the early signs and symptoms to look out. 一些要注意的就是早期的一些的症状。So to let us know, out of these 7 signs and symptoms, how many have you experienced? Okay, so do let us know, out of these 7 signs and symptoms, 这7项的这个症状呢，你自己本身呢，你中了多少项？ Let me see, Bear and Nick. To be honest, right, I do have some of the symptoms as mentioned, like fatigue, tiredness, yes, and muscle tension, 就肌肉酸痛也是 every day, and trouble sleeping, yes, and trouble concentrating. Oh my gosh, it's every day. So like 4 out of 7 already.
I do have 2 to 3 of it when it comes to critical stress point. So like when you really gotta meet some timeline and all those things, it do happen, especially muscle tense and all this.
Yes.
So with regular exercise and good sleeping discipline, it do help me a lot. It do actually.
Jennifer, to be honest, in our modern society right now, it's very rare to see anyone without any of these signs. And in most cases, right, usually people will have 2 or 3. It's very normal because, because of, expectation in our career, in our job, from our bosses, or even from our businesses, right? We tend to experience stress. And those symptoms are also signs and symptoms of a person experiencing excessive stress. Yeah, but the most important is not how many symptoms or how many signs we have, but the most important is whether we have stress management strategies in place or not, because we will definitely experience stress, because stress sometimes is good. It is a motivation force, right, to motivate us to move forward. But of course, we need to manage it. If it's too much, too excessive, then we create problem. It create problem for us. So the most important thing is whether we have a stress management strategy in place or not.
Yes. But Nick, to let you know, many of our friends here, their answer is trouble sleeping. Yes, almost all. Almost all. So it's like all the signs, the early signs and symptoms. So friends here, if you have more than 1 and above, and your answer is all, stay with us, because we will talk about causes and most importantly strategies, ways to cope with it. But before that, let's take a look at some of the mental health statistics that we have gathered. Let's have a look at the video here.
"468 suicides were recorded in the first 5 months of 2021, compared to 631 in 2020 and 609 in 2019. There's been a 12% spike in the number of calls, emails and people contacting befrienders, from an average of 3,375 a month last year to 3,779 a month this year. Women's Aid Organization reported a 360% increase in distress calls during Malaysia's first lockdown last year. Almost 78,000 divorces were recorded nationwide since the COVID-19 pandemic outbreak began last year. A survey found that 84.1% of respondents suffered from emotional stress, such as being anxious, nervous and worried during the third wave of the pandemic and implementation of the MCO 2.0.
是，刚才在影片当中呢，就有看到呢，很多的问题呢都在狂增的趋势，就像是自杀率啊、离婚率啊，像 befrienders 求救的人啊，还有就是疫情爆发，家暴的问题更加的严重，
对的
啊，是不是？所以呢，这个呢，真的是呢，我们现代人呢，就是要注意的这些的问题，对不对？所以呢，我们来看一下 ，Do you have any comment about this statistic?
Looking at the increasing number of suicide case and divorce rate, we know it is alarming. The increasing number of calls has also proven that people are open up to seek help from befrienders. So by looking at the statistics, it gives us a very, very clear message that we need to care for people around us. A lot of time when we are working hard to achieve our goal, like buying house, achieving better living, a lot of people will say, 你不要烦我，我在为我的未来努力哦，我要花很多时间来做工我要赚钱。When we tend to achieve for future, when we are looking at future, we tend to neglect the importance of spending a little bit more time to listen, to the people that we care about, either on daily basis or even just once a week. You may notice about the true feeling or problems that we might have neglected all this while. There's just a little bit of time where you stop talking about 以后要怎样可能就应该活在这一刻，活在现在。
是。And we have question from our audience here. Okay, so Nick, we need your help to answer some of the question here. So question number one, is mental wellness related to being an extrovert or introvert？ 这个我觉得非常的有趣，因为我也一直在想着这个问题，就是情绪管理和性格有关系吗？因为有些人呢是比较外向的，然后有些人是比较内向的。我听说啦，外向的人是比较容易做好情绪管理的，有这样子的一个说法吗 ，Nick？
Actually, it's not really true. Being an extrovert or introvert, of course, they both have a different way of managing their emotions. But in my clinical practice, it doesn't matter whether you're introvert or extrovert. When it comes to emotion management, it's all the same, right? Or when it comes to stress management, it's all the same. But between extrovert and introvert, probably their lifestyle might be different. Like for example, for an extrovert, they might be more used to meeting people, more used to expressing themselves more freely, right? Where an introvert might choose to keep everything to themselves, right? Now, the basic difference would be in those areas. But when it comes to stress management or when it comes to emotion management, everyone is the same. Everyone must have a proper stress management strategies or emotion management strategies. Otherwise, in the long run, you tend to get into trouble as well.
也就是说，不管你是外向的还是内向的，最终还是要看你自己如何去管理整个的情绪。然后呢，你要是不是找到一个正确的方式啦 ？Okay?
It probably like just if you are introvert, you probably will spend more time at home doing yoga, or if you are extrovert, you just go out and cycling, hiking with friends. that kind of difference between your own mental wellness management.
So thank you so much, Nick. And back to the video shared just now, Nick, in your point of view, what is the main root cause of the rising cases？ 就是是到底是什么样的一些的原因呢，造成这些的问题呢，一直在逐渐的攀升。
Now, in my opinion, most of the cases are due to chronic excessive stress. If you ask me, because based on my clinical practice that I see, usually all this, when people choose to take drastic decision or they choose, some ways to hurt themselves, usually is when they see no other options in their life, right? When they are not able to see any way out of their conditions, and behind that usually is chronic excessive stress. Now, stress actually span across different ages. It's not necessary that it's a thing for the adults. Sometimes it also affects the youngsters as well, or older people. And there are many factors that actually lead to stress. Now, one very important or very common factor is relationship. Relationship, be it a family relationship, or whether it's a marriage, or whether it's between a couple, or sometimes it's relationship at workplace as well. Now, while a relationship can be supportive, but sometimes relation can also be the reason for someone to be under tremendous pressure. Now, when we talk about pressure, right, we have things like peer pressure. And one very clear signs and incidents that we see nowadays that is not very common in those days is like the youngsters, kids, teenagers, they are now stressing over very small matters, like, for example, like whether they get enough likes on their social media, on their Facebook, on their Instagram, or they might compare the number of likes they have, between among themselves and their peers, or even start to question their own value for not being good enough, on social media. Now, even students, they are comparing exam scores, the score that they get, the grades that they get, with their fellow classmates. So peer pressure happens at workplace as well. Now, we can see it very clearly, especially when new graduates just graduated from universities and now started to work, and they might face situation where they don't feel that they are not fitting in, or they are trying to get ahead at work after working for some times. Now, those are also some of the factors, some of the reason for having chronic excessive stress as well.
是刚才Nick呢，我看到有抓到一些的重点呢，就是呢，导致情绪压力的原因呢，有很多呢，可能就是来自身旁的最亲的人，像是家人啊、朋友啊，尤其现在是这个竞争的时代耶，竞争的世界，谁不想当第一名，对不对？每一个人都想当第一名，所以呢，压力呢也就逐渐而来。我们这里呢还有一个的问题在我们的那个 audience 里，所以问题就是呢 ，Is it true that mental problems could be due to deficiency of certain vitamins? OK， 我可以来帮忙回答这个是 OK， 所以mental problem or some of the mental issues, is it due to some of the vitamins deficiency? Due to some of the studies, yes. So for example, magnesium. Okay, studies have shown that people with depression, people who always depressed or sad, they are lacking of magnesium or some of the other nutrients, for example, L-theanine, okay, from green tea extract, and vitamin B, okay. So for sleeping also, some of the herbs, for example, valerian root, ashwagandha can help for sleeping and relaxation, calming. So to answer this question, the answer is definitely yes. Vitamins and supplements and nutrients is very important, and one of the major ways to help us to solve this mental issue. Okay, so back to the question just now about the main root cause. So what is your opinion there?
Okay, my perspective will be more coming from work and the corporate work. I do see factors like number one, which is the financial factor, which is the most common one. When I talk to people, especially like business partner or even maybe colleagues, so you will hear a lot of them telling me it's like, oh, no money, no talk. So money matters. because of financial, it do pile up even more pressures.
Mm.
So number 2, it will be work influences. Besides by peer pressure to deliver result and expectation, it could be the work pressure coming from high target or
KPI.
exactly, or expectations coming from company that can lead to excessive stress.
Mm.
So some people will see it as a motivation and they can handle stress well. So they will tell themselves that 我要表现给老板看，
是。
我要把事情都做好。
嗯。
But majority may find it very, very challenging to stay competitive. As a result, they may experience chronic stress because they somehow will tell you that 老板不明白啊，老板对我不公平啊，或者别人会做得比我好啊，
是
都有。
真的。
So during my conversation with some of my friends or even colleagues, a lot of time they will say, 不变啦, like they have to carry on.
是不是？
Yeah, they have to carry on due to multiple reasons. Like they have no choice. They have to do it. They have to earn a living, or etc. You see, sounds like so sad. Right?
Yeah.
So, however, in order to carry on, we actually have a choice. It's up to yourself. It is up to yourself to do it with a positive mindset or dwell into a negative emotion with a lot of grudge and unwillingness.
Understand. But I have a question. Okay, talking about work influences, right? As a country head, as my boss, what you usually practice when you work with your team as a leader?
Okay.
Yeah.
I strongly believe that job security and stability is very much needed in the workplace. So taking care of their essential like work stability, trust. Secondly is trusting and entrusting each other, and running a business with empathy. And it starts from our fellow teammates. What is mean by trusting and entrusting? Trusting means you have to learn to believe in people. And at the same time, when you believe in them, you entrust them and empower them to do something. That is where we come to like a joint effort, a mutual understanding that we move on together in a workplace or career. So with a stable life and emotional well-being, it will be then provide some support in terms of managing with work stress or setting adequate expectation coming from workplace. To your surprise, you will see your team members are willing to trust and go extra mile with that leader. Okay, and number 3, it will be technology factor.
Technology.
Technology factor that you are not aware of. The advances of technology makes our life easier.
Yes.
But at the same time, it causes a lot of stress. Okay, most of us communicate with colleagues or family via phones. Especially now, you cannot go. Now you can go back already. Somehow, like for the past 2 years, you can't go back to your hometown. Can't fly to overseas to meet your friends or close relatives. So it makes us constantly have got to be contactable via our phones, gadgets, messenger, or any technology.
I agree.
So we make sure that it makes us very, very difficult to disengage ourselves from devices. So the funniest part is, I'm not sure whether do you have this problem. So when 有时候我的电话就 message 没有进来的时候，我就会开始很紧张啦，然后我就会开始一直在刷我的电话，restart 我的电话，然后我就在怀疑
WiFi 会不会坏
对，
掉？
然后在怀疑说网络是不是出现了问题？
真的。
然后 our life are highly dependent on internet content and social media. Like, do you notice that yourself or people around you are unintentionally refreshing their Facebook or IG feeds from time to time?
Yes, my mom.
Okay?
My mom.
Yeah, you see. So, or some working professional who are always being competitive, learning new skills and technology to keep up with the ever-changing business world.
Yeah.
Those are all very, very stressful. When you wanted to compete and you wanted to keep yourself updated, it is stressful. So they are all known as FOMO.
Wait.
Okay.
FOMO. F-O?
Yep. M-O. F-O-M-O. Which is fear of missing out.
Okay.
如果我没有记错，应该可能就是上个月的事情吧。有一天晚上差不多12点的时候，So WhatsApp、Facebook 还有 IG 就发生了故障。
是，有那么一天
12点开始就WhatsApp send 不出去了。是。然后就在隔天，我们在 Facebook 看到很多人 po 说你终于回来了，你终于回来了。这就是真正我们在说的 FOMO。你没有科技和社交频道的情况之下，我在现代的我们都感到非常非常的慌张。Correct. You feel like missing out from something that is happening out there and you don't know. So all this could be creating a lot of stress to us unknowingly.
Yes. So, like Bess say and Nick mentioned just now, everyone may experience stress at any stage of life. 不同的人生阶段呢，真的是有不同的烦恼。无论是当你是一个小孩的时候，或者是身为家长，或者是上班族、CEO、country head，所以每一个人的压力和烦恼根本就是无所不在。But the important is， 还是要再提醒大家 reminder SOS seek for help, right? And there, another new word learned from you. FOMO, FOMO, fear of missing out. So today, new words already, Nick, right? Forgo, fono, and FOMO. Okay. And I want to ask our friends here already a quick question to our friends here. Do you experience any of these conditions? Forgo, fear of going out. Fono, fear of normal. FOMO, fear of missing out. Or D, all of the above. Please tell us your answer. 来告诉我们，你是 A、B、C 跟 D 吗 ？A 呢就是还是很担心的出到外头去 ；B 呢就是很担心回到就是正常的生活。那 C 的话呢就是很担心的，就是被missing out 了，就是没有手机啊这样子的一整个情况呢？还是你是 D don't give all of the above？ 来，我们来看一下大家的 FOMO， 很多人都是 FOMO 嘞，都是 missing out 的。
I have a very serious FOMO.
就好多人都是，因为我们都是
serious FOMO，
真的我有看到有 D 的啦，所以就是 FOMO 啊跟 D， 所以你那里的好像一些的 client 啊，他们会有这样子 ABCD 的问题吗？
有啊有，尤其最近是在 MCO 了过后，有些甚至是因为 MCO because of the MCO, I particularly see it last year when we first our country first go into MCO and we have the pandemic hitting us, right? A lot of my clients was having a lot of issue, worry about their safety, worry about going out, and some clients also because of that they are not coming for therapy because they are so worried to get out of the house as well. So I do see.
Yeah, and Nick, to my surprise, okay, I see all the answer where you also can see A, and mostly A, fear of going out, and C, mostly C, fear of missing out. That's why we can't really live without this, right?
Correct.
And I tell you, Nick, they are also D, donkey.
All of the above.
Yeah, all of the above. That is why I think it's a really good chance for everyone to join us. Because why? Because we need to make mental wellness a priority. We need to take care of mental health like how we take care of our physical health, right, Nick?
Yeah, that's very true, Jennifer. Because the thing is similar to other health issues, like whether you're taking care of physical health, whether you are taking care of your heart, your lungs, or other aspect of your health. The mental health is just as like other health issues. So in that sense, the general public is in fact advised to seek help at the early stage. Whenever you discover or you realize that you are already seeing some mental health issues, because it is at the early stage where all this can be addressed more easily. Now, psychological stress has been the starting point of most mental health issues, right? And to me, right, in my clinical practice, I see most issues starts from chronic stress, chronic excessive stress. Now, early intervention, such as changing lifestyle, moderate exercises, changing your nutrition, right? To be honest, most of us are not getting enough nutrition. And as what Jennifer has shared earlier, right, nutrition actually is a very important factor to ensure we maintain a healthy mental health. Now, other things for intervention, other things like counseling or therapies, they prove to be great help at early stages. So people are actually advised to go for the early intervention. And now don't wait until it's already very bad. When it's really, really bad, then usually medication has to come in to help to stabilize the conditions. Now, other than this, to share with everyone, actually different people have a different ability of coping with stress or coping with changes in life. Now, why do we have stress? Because we are facing changes, that sudden changes in life. Like good example would be this pandemic, lah, right? When COVID hit us and when we get into MCO, a lot of people it disrupt the way they live or the way they work or the way they do business as well, and we can see it very clearly during this time. And also in my practice, I saw a spike in the insomnia cases. Insomnia means sleeping problem. Sleeping problem. Some are not able to sleep, fall asleep. Some having problem to stay sleeping, or some actually wake up a few times at night, or some cannot really get into deep sleep. Now, this is very, very obvious and very the frequency of the cases that I see actually spike up when the pandemic hit us and during MCO last year. Okay, so the thing is, some people handle it better than others, and this has to do with one's ability or one's lifestyle in coping with changes and their ability in managing the stress level. So, but in my opinion, regardless of all your ability or your how much you can actually cope with stress and cope with changes, you still need to have a stress management strategy, right? So when we talk about stress management strategy, it could be a regular, moderate exercises, right? Or it could be a habit of having good nutrition, right? A well-maintained, well-balanced diet. Or it could be, habits like doing meditation or doing some relaxation exercises, so on and so forth. It can be anything, but you must have a stress management strategy in place, because if you do not have that, right, you don't know when your stress level is going to go overboard. And when it go overboard for a long period of time, then that's when you start to see mental health issues coming up. And my work primarily, focus a lot on working with my clients to improve in these areas, to help them to build up the stress management strategies. Yeah, back to you, Jennifer.
Yes, and I personally really agree that no one should suffer in silence, because you are not alone. Because there are ways, there are strategies, there are management out there to help our body and mind to cope with it. So, Bear, any suggestion from your side?
We have to understand that everyone has their own challenges and stress. So I believe that there is always something good in every situation. For example, during MCO, many people only think that it is so depressing to be stuck at home. But on the positive side, we should be grateful that we can spend more quality time with our family. Not just that, it has come to a point that you realize about basic living without too much of luxury or fancy materials needed to provide health, safety, and happiness. I'm sure that these 2 years we live without luxury goods, we live without too much of traveling, and then we are just having basic food at home, quality time with our family. It could be a good thing. So most importantly, we need to build inner strength to cope with stress and all challenges that come to us. That is also our topic today, strength over stress. Remember that you are not alone, and we are here to spread awareness to break the taboo of mental health together.
Yes, and we have some of the questions from our friends here. So Nick, this question, can people get over mental illness without medication? 就是关于情绪啊、心灵的问题呢，就是如果不靠药物的话，就是有办法改善嘛？
Now, to answer this question, it all depends on the condition. It depends on the condition. Now, if you ask me if the person is experiencing stress at the early stage, now it is always advisable to tackle this issue at early stage. For example, with what we discussed earlier, in terms of nutrition, in terms of your stress management strategies, whether you have moderate exercises or you have a way to reach relaxation, like doing meditation, or even other way like some breathing technique and so on and so forth. There are so many ways, and so many methods to manage your stress level at early stage. So at early stage, usually if the situation and condition is not really very serious, usually medication is not required at that moment.
Okay.
But having said so, if if the condition is not being managed and then it becomes it progresses and it becomes worse, and certain point when the person is not able to manage anymore on their own, right? And if the condition has caused some possible or potential danger to them, right? Then this is when a medication should actually come in already, because many medications, the purpose for medication is to stabilize, is to help that person to develop the ability to cope while keeping them safe. Yeah, like, and I do see a lot of people when it comes to sleeping problem, they always go see a doctor and also get some sleeping pills, medication to help them to sleep. Now, while that is useful for short term, but in long term, they should actually tackle the issue, look into the root cause of the problem instead of depending on medication alone.
Understand.
That's always,
All right, thank you, Nick. And there's another question. A bear can answer this. Okay, I feel stressed at work. How can I manage stress while meeting my boss expectations? 如何克服工作上的压力？这个好像也是我要问的。
Yeah, I'll give you a very, very quick answer.
Okay.
Communicate with your boss.
Okay.
Just communicate with your boss, talk it out with people that can give you advices, your superior, who can give you a clear message and direction. It could help. It could help.
所以就是还是回到一些 communication 就是沟通是非常非常的重要的。So Nick, before we wrap up, do you have anything to talk about?
Yeah, of course, for the audience, I can't stress enough about this point. Is always to seek help early. When I say seek help early, whenever you are experiencing any mental health issues, right? It can be as early as having too much stress, or feeling a little bit depressed from time to time. Now, this is a good time that you should actually address it, right? Because if you address it early, it's easier for you to overcome the issue. So my final message to all the audiences is always to do things early, to seek help early, and don't feel shy or don't feel embarrassed about this whole thing, because just like what we said, mental health is just like other aspect of your physical health, right? And because the mind and the body, they influence each other, right? A healthy mind, a healthy body, right? A healthy body,
healthy body.
Help to have a healthy mind. Yeah.
Yes. So
As a part of healthcare industry, I feel like we do have the social responsibility to spread awareness and the importance of nutrition to improve mental wellness.
Yep.
Just now, somebody asked about whether nutrition can help or not.
Yep.
Yes. The answer is yes. Clearly, it is yes. VitaHealth has been working on a series of products called Charge Up since 3 years ago. We believe that good nutrition is important in managing mental and physical wellness. Along the way, our team did a lot of research, study, and understanding about mental wellness, especially on how it applies to our daily life. For example, nutrition could help you to sleep better, to manage your emotion, like calming and stimulating happy hormone, muscle relaxation, and all in all, they do help in improving your quality of life. So, and we are so excited to share this with the community about how to carry positivity in life, which I always motivate people around me about 带出正能量。
带出正能量。
I always say 带出正能量。We have to 带出正能量。
我们要做出正能量。
Then we can spread positivity to people around us.
是。
So please stay tuned with us. Thanks for having us today. Thanks for being with us today for the series of Health on the Beat and share with us about your view and experiences. 我希望我们在 SOS 系列里面，不只是可以跟大家分享现代的压力和情绪问题，我们也想跟大家一起分享怎样在紧绷的社会里带出正能量，带出正能量，这是每天我都在跟自己说的，要带出正能量，大家开心，我们自己也会感觉到很开心。
真的。
So write to us if you want and we can discuss about it during the coming episode.
Exactly. Right. So thank you so much, Bear, and thank you so much, Nick. It is an definitely interesting and wonderful discussion, especially your sharing on mental wellness. And reminder to all of us and our friends here, SOS, seeking for help whenever you are not okay, especially at the early stage, okay? And most importantly, VitaHealth has launched a mental wellness charge-up series for every one of us. All right, so we will see you guys again next month on 25th of November on our second episode, and we will talk in detail about sleep. 睡眠也是一个非常大的问题嘛，对不对 Nick? So I hope our friends here and our audience here, you guys to enjoy our show today and Health on the Beat SOS series. Thank you so much, everyone, and we will see you guys next month. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.